to write code. Okay, so this is my way of writing. Okay, so I'll open and close the brackets first, so that I have the opening tag and the close tag for the AMPScript. Then my second best practice is I'll always capitalize the set. Okay? I basically don't create the variables, which are basically say they start with the initialization of the variables. Okay, this is the one first part which let's add it to the best practices. So first thing is how we comment in AMPScript. So the comment structure is this. Okay, slash star, and this is the opening comment. Okay, and closing of this comment is this one.
Okay.
Star slash. Okay, so anything you write, this becomes a comment. So I say
So Shashi, the
initialization
comment is not part of the code, right?
variables. So what I'm doing here, right? So here I'll do is initialize the variables, that is var, and any variables that you're assigning, it has to start with @ right? So for me, I require the first name, I require the last name, camel notation, and then phone number, and joining. After the initialization, I need to set the variables, right? So now let's switch the set or say assignment of the variables. Okay. When you do the assignment of variables, so what I know, let's go back and see. This is my sendable data extension. This is my relationship, and these are the records, and these are the attributes. Okay. So from here, what I need to see is I need to basically get the first name and last name from the full name, right? So I'm going to pick this attribute, and now I'm going to set that value. So I'll say first name plus 2, open and close bracket, and then I'll just put the attribute value. Okay. Normally do not follow having a space between the attributes when I'm structuring the data extension. Okay, somebody, what they do is they might use underscore to make it look good and readable to the people. Okay, I don't use underscore or space in between writing the attributes. So here, what I'm doing is I'm simply copying the attribute. I always follow. I'm not going to just type it out. I just do the copy paste. Okay, I brought the first name, a full name from the data extension, and I set it to this particular attribute. Now what I need to do is this first name. Okay, this first name, just for example, make people understand, is how the name is written. Okay? So if I have to split this first name, full name into first name and last name, how I'm going to split? I basically need to know there is a space between the first name and that has to be, right? If there is no space, then I'll not be able to determine whether we have a first name and last name in that particular string. We split this particular full name into first name and last name with space, right? So now I need to use this syntax. Okay, that is the index of syntax, and what I'm going to do, get this space. Where is that space lies between this first name and the last name? I have to get the length. So see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the seventh index, right? So here, in this example, 7th is the index. Okay, which index? The index is the space. Now I understood. Okay, this is the index. Now, got the 7th place. Now, what I need to get it, I have to get the first name, right? So let's do this. Okay, I'll skip this part. I'll simply do the string. Okay, then I'll come to why we have to add +1 or -1 there. If I did, now I had a variable. Okay, this one is first name. If this is the first name, I'm using substring of the full name. Okay, and from the 0, it starts from 0 and go to the place till there's a first name. So if I just say index, you have to print this value. Okay, what this is going to do for you, it will basically give you such space. If you print, okay, there will be, if I have to say, if I'm printing this value saying hello, you say in HTML. So in the HTML, if you write, anyway, I'll do this. This will basically output you with such and space. So if you want to have the space here, is that okay for me? Okay. But if I don't want that space here, what I'm going to do is, to make it more easy, right? What I'm going to do, I want to go to the 7th index, right? So here, from the starting from 0, if I go to the 7th place, I'm printing this. But I want to skip one more and just omit the space. So that's why here, what we added here was another setting of the index saying that set the start. Is subtract from the index, this index, okay, which was the 7th position, do -1. So this offset is now being set here. Okay, equals to 6. So the offset length, this is basically, you can call this as a start end length. Okay, so the length is 6. Now when I say the length is 6, and when I do the substring, okay, from the full name, that is Sasi Prasad, take that string, start from 0 and go to the 6th place. 0 to the 6th place, and it will print Sasi without space.
No.
Good question. I expect these questions, right? So now you see, when I'm doing index of, okay, so what it does is, from the beginning, okay, to the second part, which is both a string. The first parameter is a string. The second parameter is a string. So here, when I'm doing index of, from the full name or string, I'm looking for another character, which is a space, and I'm saying that where this character I can find bit in this string. If I write index of Sasi, like, okay, let's make it more easier. If I say this, just to say an example, yes. So, for example, if I say C result, okay, with a string. Now I'm saying, okay, inside the string, search where we have the space character and give me the place where the space character resides in the string. Okay? So this index setting to 7, because if I go from here, now the space is at the 7th place. Now, the second question was substring, right? I'll go to substring. Let's go to the subtract as well. The function for AMPScript, okay? And here, all these utilities, what I'll do, I'll normally do match AMPScript. I'll type this. I normally go to developer site here, right? So it takes me to the subtract. Let me paste this. In the subtract, what it does is it takes a initial numeric value, okay, and the second parameter is here. I took the initial value, which is basically here. If I'm doing subtract, just to set an example, if I do subtract, and this index was basically 7, this 7. Now from 7, I'm doing a -1, then the output basically becomes 6. So yeah, the solution is generic, right? It is not hard coding here. Okay, I'm helping you people to understand. So this is
Okay.
Vaibhav. Give me the second name.
RAJA.
Lakshmi Vaibhav.
RAJA.
What is your last name?
Yeah, RAJA.
Mm-hmm.
SHE.
It's E.
No, RAJA.
And let's go here. Now, Lakshmi Vaibhav Rajasekhar, right? Now I'm saying get the full name, Lakshmi Vaibhav Rajasekhar, and search is going to land here. If I
With
see
space.
this,
With the
it
space.
is say selected 12. So the 13th character, you have this space. If I understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So here it will be 13th.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you want to, I have this here. I have opened here for you all guys just to clarify here. So here, I'll just copy this code for you. Lakshmi Vaibhav Rajasekhar. I'm just hard coding here just to help you all. Okay.
Okay.
So Lakshmi, this is your first and the last name. Okay.
Okay.
The full name. Now I'm doing index. I want to print the index. Okay. So here, instead of this, what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to add one more detail, say index, for you people to help. And let me print that value index for you. This one is index. If I print this index, okay, so let's see for Rajasekhar, Lakshmi Rajasekhar, what will be the value? Okay. See, oh, so see, okay, name got changed. Lakshmi Vaibhav.
No problem.
For me, it was 7. Now, for you, it will be 13.
13.
Right? See here?
Yes.
Okay.
This helps you, Vaibhav?
Yes, sir. So for the first name, you're using index comma 1 here, right? So just to avoid the space, right?
Yeah.
So are you using the same for the last name as well or no?
We are going there. We haven't reached there currently. Okay. Now, first year, what we did here, see, Lakshmi Vaibhav Rajasekhara, right? Now, from Lakshmi Vaibhav Rajasekhara, when I do the index of, I have to basically understand for everyone, there should be a space. Then I can say segregate between first name, the last name, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I'm taking the index, it is going to the 13th position, right? Now, I can do that. See, if I'm starting here, what I said initially, rather than doing subtracting or adding things, right? I could have simply used the index to do the substring. Here,
Yeah.
if I print this one, okay, I just say from the full name, start from 0 and go to this index, right? If I go to the index, here it will be Lakshmi Vaibhav with a space, and it doesn't matter in a HTML, right?
Right.
It will be negative. But if you're using first name and the last name to print, then also you require a space. So it doesn't matter for me. But to be, I always follow the best practice, right? And maybe we are manipulating the string, and maybe we are storing in some other data extension or doing something. Then this space sometimes might create a trouble for everyone. So that's why what I did was subtract -1 so that I can negate this space from here, right? So here, when I do offset the start, then I say index subtract -1. Then from the 13th, I'm going till the 12th character, right? And here, when I'm
Yeah.
looking at index, then I'll say I'll do with the opposite of the start. Then it will omit the space.